Well, joining us now from Central London is Tamara Cincik, stylist and CEO of Fashion Roundtable, a company that links the fashion industry with policy makers. Many thanks indeed for joining us today. How important would you say the fashion industry is to the UK economy?
Well, I noted in your clip earlier that you said 28 billion to the UK economy. The current stats are actually 32.3 billion. To put that into perspective, fishing makes 1.4 billion GVA for the UK economy, which is the same that fashion in its entirety just in East London alone makes. Where I am currently, which is Westminster, makes over 2.2 billion. So I'd say it's a very important and potentially undervalued by the political system industry for the UK economy.
What has the uncertainty meant for your industry?
No business likes uncertainty. We are an industry which relies on freedom of movement, both of goods but also of services. So anybody from the industry, whether they're a creative, which has been my background as a fashion editor, or a manufacturer, whether that's fast fashion, high street fashion, or even luxury, which is obviously what you've been talking about with London Fashion Week, they rely on frequent movement between the UK and the EU and then globally. Any one component of even something that's made within the UK could have travelled up to 20 times from design to delivery. So you've got, say, something made in the UK, 75% of the components of that outfit could have come from overseas. So any kind of uncertainty around tariffs, around operator status, around pricing, around IP is obviously concerning. And we are close to the wire of the possibility of a no deal.
Yeah, have you been able to analyse the various outcomes? I mean, for example, the regulatory alignment, the Prime Minister's deal, the event of a no-deal Brexit, and also, if we have this idea that's been explored by Labour to have a customs union or a single market?
So the outcomes that we analysed from the data that we received at Fashion Roundtable for our Brexit report really supported as being as close to the single market as possible. Why? Because this just made the continuum of the business, with the majority of our exports going to the EU, whilst we would develop other markets. This was what we realised was the most important. So yes, I know from other business advisory offices and institutions, the government's deal was palatable because it was freedom of movement potentially for goods rather than services. It does have all of those issues. Any delays, any loss of freedoms has an impact on the industry.
What about claims, from some parts here amongst the ERG, for example, that a lot of this is Project Fear, and actually, there will be able to be that free movement?
I mean, just to counter that, Project Fear from the ERG, talking about the fishing industry, and almost every soundbite that I hear from them, I haven't seen any of them reaching out to people from the fashion industry to have a conversation about what this means for workers in our manufacturing, many of whom are coming from Eastern Europe, who fall below the MAC report's guideline of a £30,000 wage per annum. I've spoken to the people from Fashion Enterprise in Haringey, and their workers do travel back to Europe in the summer holidays and are concerned about their freedom of movement. So I'd like the ERG to reach out to the fashion industry and understand our concerns rather than just label us Project Fear.
What would your message be to the Prime Minister?
I really think the Prime Minister needs to value all of the industries and not just keep talking about these industries, which she does at the moment, which are cars, very valuable, fishing, of course, valuable, but you need to understand that, fashion isn't just what you see on the catwalks and looking all very glamorous and otherworldly. This is a business that day in, day out provides almost 900,000 jobs for the UK economy. You will know, all of us will know someone down the line who is working somewhere in whether it's in retail or it's in designer or it's in import or export or logistics, who are in some way involved with the fashion industry.
Tamara, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.